Nancy Davis, welcome to the Sunday Afternoon Smokes Lounge.
Thank you. This is so exciting. I saw your concept for this and now I'm sitting in it. I can't believe it.
Yeah, the way that we originally met was you had reached out to me about some ashtrays for the cigar box.
Yeah.
And, we met up for coffee. And at that time, this was still just a concept in my brain. And I had, just pulled up some images on the computer and showed it to you. But now you're actually sitting in it.
Yeah.
And how, if you remember the images, I know that was, weeks and weeks and weeks ago. I'm pretty close, right?
Very close. Very close. I knew it was going to be awesome when I walked in. And of course, I've been watching your podcasts since then, since you opened the lounge. And it's just amazing. It's just perfect.
Well, that's very kind of you to say so. And I just, because of what you do when you custom jewelry, and you've been doing art of various kinds for a while.
Yeah.
I really appreciate people with that lean into the artistic, professional side and design and those things. If they have positive things to say about this room.
Yeah.
I'm open to criticism, though, to be honest. I mean,
I don't think it could be any more perfect. The ambiance is great. It's comfortable. It doesn't feel sterile. It feels very warm and just relax. The colors are amazing. It's masculine, no doubt, but it's comfortable for women too.
Right.
So
very good. That makes me very happy.
Am I the first woman guest in here?
You're not.
Oh,
sorry.
Well, shoot. That's all right.
I recorded last night with a lady. Her name is Dallas Vickers. She is a wedding planner and wedding/event planner.
Nice.
She was, I think she's the first female recorded in the finished lounge.
Well, very good.
So
that's awesome.
I'm very glad to hear you say that it's comfortable for women too. It's and you're right. I do believe this is a very masculine and moody space.
Yeah.
Which, and I'm a man, so it seems to make sense.
Yeah.
And I'm just very pleased with this room.
You done good.
Thanks. I appreciate it. So, all right, before we get way deep into it, I like to let my guests introduce themselves. So take a minute, say as much or as little about yourself as you like. And while you do that, I'm going to light my cigar.
Hey, before you do that, I have something that I have a couple things maybe you might like.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So,
This is a monster. This is too heavy for a cigar. What we got here? A chocolate cigar with aromatic cocoa. This is a 3.5 ounce start. Where did you get these?
Oh, I have sources.
Yeah, because according to the band, y'all, these are from Cuba. According to the band, chocolate Cuban. That's awesome.
I'm all about doing things that nobody else does and about unique. And I didn't really figure anybody would have given you these.
I have not received a chocolate cigar ever.
You can savor that.
Man,
save it till later.
I think one of these will probably be consumed, and one of them should probably just live in the lounge. You know what I mean? Well, I'm also curious, are these different? Because that band is great.
It is different. I think they have different fillings. Like one of them is...
Oh, yeah. This one's pistachio.
Yeah, pistachio.
Chocolate pistachio. And this is...
Is that hazelnut?
This one's dark.
Dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
That's killer. Thanks. I appreciate that. I'm going to stick these back there.
And then before you light up, I thought, you need, this is a classy place.
Mm-hmm.
And so you need a classy.
That's heft. There's some heft to this box. By the way, I really like this box. This design on here is, I mean, I didn't bring my reading glasses in here, but it's very ornate, almost filigree work, which I really like. I'm a big fan of filigree work, especially like on old shotguns or
Oh,
pistol
yeah.
grips.
Oh, yes.
Just
Yeah, my
that's
husband just
awesome.
bought a gun that has all kinds of pretty filigree work on it. So,
Oh, look at that. Wow.
see, you have to break in the lounge
You do all right.
properly.
So what we've got here from Nancy, and I'll have to take a close-up photo and post it. I don't know how well it's going to be seen. This is a custom ashtray for the Sunday afternoon smokes lounge. So
I have
Chris.
three
You
of them
got
for
three of
you.
them.
Yeah,
Beautiful. This is crystal.
it is crystal.
Okay, and then it's got the Sunday afternoon smokes logo inlaid into the ash portion.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to get rid of this now. I will be gentle with it. This was a gift from my mother when she was traveling abroad. So, but it doesn't belong. I mean, it has served its purpose up
Okay.
until now. I'll still use it on the
Okay.
patio.
Okay.
Although I'm not really sure how much I'll go on my patio to smoke cigars anymore now that I have this room.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, Mom.
No, mom is okay. These are, I mean, that's serious. That's got some heft to it.
Yeah.
And so,
I do several iterations of that. That's the smallest one I do, and then I also do a 5x5 cut crystal one, and I do a 7x7 cut crystal one for various things for fraternity organizations and colleges and people's logos and things like that. So, yeah, I thought after talking to you, that might be a good size for this room.
it's the perfect size. It just sits very comfortably here on my cocktail table. Um, if I accidentally bump it, it's not going to fall off or
Yeah.
it's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
And it's the perfect size. It doesn't take too much. Like these aren't enormous cocktail tables,
Yeah.
so it doesn't take up a ton of space.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
yeah, you're welcome. Try it out. Hopefully, it won't detract from your camera angles and all that.
I don't think so. I'm looking at the shot right now. It's not really putting off any glint or
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I think it's going to be perfect.
Good.
And so
And
I like this is super awesome
enjoy.
branded
Yep.
accoutrement for the lounge. And really what you are at Nancy Davis Studios is my first lounge partner. I'm super excited to have that.
I'm so happy. This just worked out so great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This was
Have you, all right, because I've got my brain's running now and we're talking about this, but before let's let you introduce yourself, tell people who you are, what you do, say as much or as little as you like, and then I will light up this Avo XO intermezzo, try out the new ashtray, all the stuff.
Well, I am Nancy Davis, and I am the owner and founder of Nancy Davis Studio. I've been an artist for several years, and first dabbled in it and didn't really have a brand, and eventually I decided that I needed a brand, so it's Nancy Davis Studio. I took a long time to come up with that one. But hey, it fits.
Well, there's something to be said for simplicity.
I know.
I mean, there really is.
Yeah, I want people to associate me with my brand and with my products, so keep it simple.
Well, when somebody reads Nancy Davis Studios, there's no question about what it is.
Yeah.
Right? Like you don't have to read somebody's name of their business and then try and figure out what they do.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Because when I named it that, it encompassed lots of different kinds of artwork, not just one thing, not just the ring making, not just the ashtrays, not just the collegiate stuff. I was painting. I was painting wall art. and just different things. That's that's the thing about me, and maybe that's the in the heart of an artist is many of us don't hone in on just one thing. It's like, ooh, squirrel. Ooh, I want to try that. Ooh, I wonder if I can do that. And that's been very much me.
You think that's pretty typical of the artist brain?
I do. Yeah. Yeah. Now, I will say most artists that I know, um, focus on one thing, let's say watercolor painting, but they will dabble in other things too. But if they're known for their watercolor paintings and that's what stuck, that's what spoke to people, then that's what they'll focus on.
Yeah.
Um, and for me, that's difficult because I want to make all the things, and you can't make all the things. Sometimes you have to narrow it down.
Yeah. Well, I think that you can't make all the things, but you're not going to do everything well,
That's exactly
right?
right.
I mean, you've got to try to make a wide variety of things, and then you figure out which one of these do I feel like
Yeah.
I'm actually doing very well.
Yeah, because I did alcohol ink paintings for a long time, and it's a very flowing, abstract kind of art, which I thought was hilarious for me because I'm kind of a control freak, and you can't control alcohol inks really. They do what they want to do. But that was a challenge for me, and I loved it. And what I loved and the thread that runs through all my artwork is, what is nobody else doing? How can I make this unique? And that's what I did with my alcohol ink stuff. And then for whatever reason, I thought, I think I'll try acrylic painting and, actually paint something like a scene or,
Right.
something solid. And I did it. I wasn't great at it. But the main thing was I didn't enjoy it that much because I had to work too hard at it. It just didn't feel natural to me. So, that's one of those things that didn't necessarily work for me. So I, set it aside and moved on.
Have you always been artsy, like from a child?
No, I think I do pretty good for someone who flunked out of arts and crafts in kindergarten. I seriously have not. I didn't know that I had an artistic bone in my body until maybe 10 years ago.
You're a late bloomer.
Yeah. It's never too late. It's
Sure.
never too late. So, but what happened was I started making bottle lights. I would take empty bottles, like wine bottles, interesting liquor bottles, things like that, and turn them into lights.
Like lamps?
Not
Or
really, nothing
like,
fancy. I started out with battery operated LED string lights.
yeah.
And then eventually I got to where I could I knew how to cut holes in them and I could make them more lamp-like, more kind of permanent. But so I was making those and, that was fun. And I was doing some farmers markets and vendor craft shows and things with that. And I thought, well, this is kind of fun. And
It's fun for a while.
it is.
The markets, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know until you
Yeah.
don't know what you don't know until you know.
That's so very true.
It is true. So you don't know what you're getting yourself into. So I was doing that, and the markets, and the grind, and setting up the tents, and dealing with the wind and the rain and the organizers and the vendor neighbors and all the stuff that goes with it. Now once the market's going, it's fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy talking to people who come up and who, show an interest and want to know how things are made and this, that, and the other. That was fun. The rest of it, not so much. So I did that for a little while until a local gallery owner took an interest in my stuff and asked me if I wanted to rent a space in her gallery.
So, what did you have on display at the time when you met this lady?
Just bottles, just bottle lights.
With the string lights in them and LED, really?
Yeah.
Just like super simple stuff.
Super simple stuff.
That's interesting to me that a lady that owns a local gallery is interested in this.
I know.
Well, but was it one of those, what you said earlier, you look around, what is nobody else doing? Like nobody else had this, right?
Yeah. I was as surprised as you are, believe me.
Yeah, I'm very like that here. I mean, I think because of what you said, you're surprised. It's not meant to be offensive. But it's just like,
I get you.
Let's just take some bottles and stick some lights in it. And that, like, it just seems like such a crazy idea that people would want that.
Yeah.
And much less that a gallery owner would want you to put this in her place.
Well, this is where art is in the eye of the beholder. You know, some people have a narrower view of what art is, and some people have a very broad view. Thankfully, she had a broad view. So I did that. And I put some bottles, I had like a little shelf in the corner or something, and people were buying them. And quickly I pivoted and said, what else can I do with this? Because I had by then discovered this awesome medium called alcohol ink. And it's very vibrant colors and translucent.
What is alcohol ink? Like, just, clear that up for me, because I don't know what that is.
Yeah, most people don't. And it's a highly pigmented ink that comes in a little bottle. Little goes a long way. And you dilute it as you're using it with isopropyl alcohol. And you use it on non-porous surfaces. All right, so like there's special art paper that is non-porous that you use. You can use it on glass. You can use it on metal, acrylic, just all kinds of things. Okay. Ceramic.
So when you add the isopropyl alcohol to it, I guess, like you said, it's very loose. So it's really thin.
It's very thin. It's like water.
Okay.
And so you can manipulate it different ways. So typically, here's one way to use it. So I put down like a drop of alcohol ink and surround it with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. And then I pick up my surface and move it around and just, kind of watch it blend and move around. And then I use a hair dryer to move it around and make ripples and make fades and make certain parts of it darker and deeper. And then I'll add metallic ink to it that makes just a real pretty kind of little borders in there. So, it's gonna dry. And so if you want to rework it or keep working with it or add more, you just add more isopropyl alcohol. Okay, and it breaks that up and moves it around again. So you can do small paintings with it if somebody, wants just a little pop of color. It's great on glass because it's translucent, and then when you put a light behind it, it's kind of like faux stained glass. And so I just went wild with it. I mean, I was making coasters and I was making little faux stained glass framed pieces that you put lights behind. And so I was putting those kinds of things in the gallery, and they were popular. So, and then I was like, oh, what else can I do? So then I made bigger artwork, like, 11 by 14s, and I'd frame them, and then I'd do 36 by 42s, big pieces. And then I started making the big pieces and putting clear epoxy resin over them, just to bring out that color and that shine and those highlights. And before I knew it, I was renting a wall in the gallery, and then I rented a whole room like this size.
That's insane.
Yeah,
I mean,
in a good
by the
way.
way, let me ask you this. Do you still do any of that stuff?
I don't. I want to.
If somebody were to commission you
Oh,
for
yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so the lady I interviewed last night, Dallas Vickers,
Mhm.
she's talking about um decorating their apartment, and she's I don't know, she sounds very eclectic, and has, and she's like, I'm looking for a really big piece because I have this huge space on my wall, and here's the style I'm looking for, and da 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 da. But and she asked me if I know anybody,
Mhm.
and just listening to you, I'm like, I'm not gonna put you two in touch,
Yeah,
and you
that
could
would be
like
great.
make something like custom
Absolutely.
for her.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll do it after the episode. I'll connect you all
Yeah.
via
Yeah,
email or
please
something
do.
like that.
'Cause I miss it. I miss doing
Sure.
alcoholing.
So um you meet this gallery owner at a market. Is that right?
Yes, basically
Okay.
at a downtown Main Street market.
Okay. And she takes a liking to your art
Hmm.
and invites you to display some of your work.
Hmm.
I mean, what was that moment like for you emotionally?
I couldn't believe it. I was like, I wasn't really after the recognition. I was doing it because it was a kick. I loved it and I had all these pieces. And I was like, what, I can't just keep making these and collecting them. So it
Right.
became a great opportunity for me to sell them. And the first one that sold, I was like, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Did you at the time, did you view yourself as an artist, or
Not
did
at
you
all.
just feel like I'm just kind of goofing off, tinkering?
Just goofing off, tinkering.
Yeah.
It's like if I could make money with goofing off and tinkering, this
Hey.
is awesome.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
But then you get invited in to display your work in this gallery, and you're obviously taken aback
Yeah.
at it. What kind of gallery is it?
It is, I would call it an eclectic gallery.
Is it, is it still around?
Oh yeah. It's at 14 South Main Street in Greenville.
What's the name of it?
Now it's called GVL Art and Gifts, I believe. Sorry, Ashley, if I butchered that. Because when I was there, it was Open Art Studios.
Okay.
And then after I left, sometime after I left, the owner changed the name. And I think it's GVL
But it's the
Art
same
and
owner.
Gifts. Yeah. Same owner.
Okay, I want to
So,
look them up. GVL
yeah,
Arts and
GVL,
Gifts. Okay.
at
And so
14 South Main.
she had GVL Arts and Gifts.
Yeah.
And she had a, like you said, it's kind of an eclectic studio.
Yes. So there's what you'd consider fine art in there. There are, well, everybody in there is insanely talented at what they do. And so there's fine art. There's, oil paintings, really fine oil paintings. There are really fine acrylic paintings. There are abstract paintings. There's pottery. There's stained glass. There's woodwork.
There's all kinds of stuff in there.
Pencil drawings. Yeah.
So when you went in for the first time, I presume, she invites you to showcase your work in her studio. I don't know, maybe I'll meet up for, I don't know, do y'all meet beforehand and talk about what
Yeah.
that would look like?
Uh-huh.
So you kind of get that nailed down, but then you go in to set up or whatever, and you look around. Do you feel out of place? Like your work I don't belong here?
Not really. And that's something that I had to learn early on and that I still have to struggle with a little bit is the way I approach art and my artwork is I kind of put my blinders on. I'm aware of what other people are doing, but if I pay too much attention to it, I'll get in my head and start comparing myself and my art to theirs. So no, it was something that nobody else was doing in the gallery, and I just thought it was cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the
did my
owner
thing.
thought it was cool, and that's what mattered,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And so you're displaying your bottle lights. But then you decide to, you're fooling about with this alcohol ink, and all of this stuff is winding up in the studio.
Yeah.
And you said, talk to me about the progression from, yeah, it's crazy to me, but I was offered this opportunity to display my um work here,
Mm-hmm.
and that went to, now have a whole wall,
Mm-hmm.
and now I have an entire room.
Yeah.
It's just Nancy Davis. Yeah, talk to me about that journey.
That comes from experimenting, and the whole squirrel concept. I want to do this. Oh, I want to do this, and imagining and experimenting. So when I was doing the glass, like the bottles, and then it went to the faux stained glass, and then I was like, oh, this alcohol ink stuff is pretty cool. What else can I do with it? And so then I watched a bunch of videos and kind of learned a little bit how to work with it, and then just kind of took off on my own with it and did wall art, which was different too than anybody else was doing. Um, and I'd mat it and I'd frame it and make it look really nice. And then I was like, okay, well, this is nice, but what if I made my own frames? And so then I started making my own frame. So I had all this stuff, all these experiments that I had done. And again, I was like, I need an outlet for these. So as wall space would become available in the gallery, I would rent a bigger space. And then I'd fill that up, and then I rented a whole room, and I filled that up. uh, because it progressed from there. I was doing the wall art, and big and small wall art. And then I started making tumblers like this. So I had, an outlet for my tumblers. And it's funny because people will say, how did you start doing so and so? Or how did you decide that you were going to do this technique or that technique, or you were going to make this item? I'm like, and I am terrible at that answer. My answer is always, I don't know. I don't remember. You'd have to get inside my brain at like 2, 3 a.m. because that's when all
That
these.
sounds like an interesting place.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Nancy Davis's brain.
Interesting is one word for it.
Dude, I'm curious, as this thing has kind of gone from A to B to C to K to, wherever, in all of your exploration, what's your husband's, like, does he think you're bananas?
Yes, but that was long before I started doing art.
He thought you were crazy anyway.
His name is Art, so there's kind of a parallel there, I guess, but he's very supportive.
Yeah, great.
So my husband doesn't get all, excited about anything, really. He's just very even keel. And so, of course, when I started doing all this, I was doing it in the house, and we have a large kitchen counter bar area, and that's where I was doing all my artwork. And I would have to clean it up, at the end of the day. I'd kind of just throw it all in a box and put it in my office, because I was working at the time too, by the way. It's a whole other thing. So eventually I was like taking over the house with my artwork. There were pieces of framed art. There were canvases. There were frames. There were bottles. There was stuff everywhere. And at that point, I could tell he wasn't really crazy about it. So I had a 12 by 16 building moved into our backyard, and ran electricity to it and all that, and heating and cooling and all that. So that became my studio.
Mm-hmm.
And I've outgrown that too.
Oh, okay. I was just about to ask if you're still working in there, but I guess not.
Oh,
Well, you still tinker in there?
in my studio?
In your shed?
Oh, yeah. See, that's the main place where I do all my things. And I've had to retool several times. I mean, I was doing alcohol ink, and so I had to have large flat surfaces, horizontal surfaces. And then when I kind of got out of that and got into the tumblers, I had equipment that I had to move in to turn the tumblers and to work with epoxy. And then when I kind of got out of that, I got into jewelry making. I needed a different setup and different equipment and different tools. So that is, that's where I,
Can you could do almost anything, right? Like, so here's one thing that I want in here, just depending on, I wouldn't be, we're recording today. It's whatever time it is now, 1:30, 1:45, something like that. I'm not drinking out spirits. I've got coffee, but I would like to have um a couple of coffee cups in here for my guests and myself, but it's, you know, my, I don't know exactly what kind of coffee cup belongs in this room. One of the things I'm a fan of, I don't think it really fits the room, but I'm a sucker for kind of like the old school, they're like tin, but overlaid with enamel, like camp coffee
oh yeah,
cups, you know what I mean?
yes.
But have it in, I'd have it, the cup color would be a dark navy, like
Yeah.
the walls, and then the Sunday Afternoon Smokes logo in gold. Sit right
That's
here,
exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
but does that cup fit the aesthetic? I mean, it's really more about the color palette, I think, than
It
the
is,
cup itself.
but
But
because the tumblers are stainless steel, that fits the aesthetic. I think that you're talking about perfectly. You're talking about the old style kind of camp cup, and that's what those are. That's what I make or made. Um, and they can either have straight sides, kind of like you've got there, kind of like I've got here, or they can be nice and curvy, and they got the nice big handles on them that you can get your hand in, and yeah, I've done a lot of those, and the gold and deep blue like that is gorgeous.
it's
I've done a lot of those for the Citadel and used their ring crest, which is gold and black, and to put it on that dark blue is just amazing.
it's phenomenal. Dark navy and gold is, I mean, it's a
It's
combo that's hard to beat.
it is. It's classy. It's classy looking.
Absolutely. Yeah, whenever I was when I was tinkering with this room and looking at wallpaper and I saw that deep navy with the gold horseshoes, I knew I didn't need to look anymore.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's the one. And then I kind of was looking for rugs, on Amazon, and I just typed in golden navy rug. And this popped up and I'm like, that's the one.
I love this because the the gold in it looks almost like it's backlit. It
A little
doesn't.
bit.
Yeah, it doesn't look like just tuft or fabric.
Yeah.
It looks kind of luminescent.
And from a visualistic standpoint, I mean, there's pattern. Obviously, the wallpaper has a pattern. There's a slat wall and the buffet here. They're all pretty, but this pattern here adds a little bit of visual breakup. Obviously, the chairs are just, they're nice large back, but it's just all brown.
Yeah.
There's no pattern here. There's no pattern on the wall here. And so adding a little bit of visual texture to the room.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just all just kind of flows. And that's the stuff you try and pay attention to. I'm not a designer.
You better be careful because somebody's going to see this and want to hire you.
Hey, well, look, if you need if you need a consultation on your man cave in your room, gentlemen from the upstate, I'm happy to offer my services. I haven't figured out my rates yet, but
well, don't undervalue yourself.
that's a hard thing to figure out.
Oh, geez, I'm still trying to figure
Are
it
you?
out. I really am. Well, every time I change mediums from wall art to something else, to jewelry to something else, I kind of have to start over and figure out what is this worth. And
Gosh, it's so hard.
it is, and I think a lot of us fall into undervaluing ourselves. Here's the thing. I think a lot of artists and people undervalue themselves because they think, oh, well, I'm just learning. I'm just learning this. Yeah, you're learning it, but you you're having on the job training
Yeah.
basically, and you're going to get good at it really quick. And people want what you have. They can't make what you're doing, and they're willing to pay for it. So give yourself some credit, you know. Um, so I'm getting better at it. Uh, but yeah, that's a challenge.
So I want to go back and talk about um I want to go back and talk about art because this is something I purposely wanted to touch on. And you said that some people have a very broad view of what art is, and some people have a very narrow view of
Mhm.
what art is. And you also said that, you know, sometimes art is just in the eye of the beholder
Mhm.
kind of a thing. And there's all kinds of art. There would be like Renaissance
Mhm.
stuff. There's Rembrandt and all of those people. There's, I guess, classic art. There's modern art. There's abstract art. Um, and some of the things I really appreciate, like some of that, like some of those guys painting in the Renaissance era, is because you can't even say, it's hard to put into words, which means, yeah, that's serious stuff. But then I just don't understand some of the stuff that you see where it's just like we splatter painted all over a canvas and it's hanging in this studio in New York somewhere for, $300,000. And I'm like, what is that? I can do that.
Mhm.
I don't understand.
I don't either, Chris.
Okay.
And I am not an art connoisseur, and I'm not an art student, and I wouldn't know a Rembrandt from a
I wouldn't.
Matisse. I mean, I don't. And for those who do, God bless them. You know, that's fine. Um, to me, it just goes back to art is in the eye of the beholder. And don't take it so seriously. Oh my gosh. Like the huge canvas that has the paint splattered on it, that's in a boutique gallery in Manhattan for $300,000. If you want that and it's going to make you happy, go for it.
Sure.
Um, I can do the Temu version of that for you for,
Sure.
$300, but
Yeah. I
whatever.
mean, I guess though some of that is probably it's 300K because it was done by this artist who has all of this portfolio of work that's really good, but now it's really the name you're buying, not so much a splatter paint canvas, right?
Yeah, that's a good point, and that makes me think, how did that person start out? I want to know how that person went from point A to point Z, with this selling artwork like this. How did they start out? That would be interesting to know.
Get them on
But
the show and find out.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um, you and I have been there both. I know what it's like. You know what it's like to do the markets. What have you, from day one when you started doing markets until now, what have you learned about the markets?
Well, first of all, the economy has changed tremendously from when I was doing markets years ago. When I was doing markets, I actually was making some money. I don't think I ever lost money doing a market, knock on wood. Um, and people were buying, people were interested. There were big crowds and they would, come around and, it's all impulse buying basically. And that's what they were doing. And it was fun. And so that kind of kept me in the market game for a little while. Um, and then frankly, just physically, it just started taking a toll on me. And so I got out of it. Um, and then the economy has changed a lot. I am in a group of vendors on Facebook, and I see the struggles that they're going through now to pay booth fees. Booth fees have gone through the roof. Um, and the crowds are not there like they used to be, and people are not making sales like they used to be. Everybody, the shoppers want a bargain now. I mean, everybody wants a bargain, but they want something for nothing.
Yeah.
And the artists are very frustrated with that. So, what I learned from doing the markets, and I'm glad that I did, was that that's one of the ways that you pay your dues. That's one of the ways that you learn to deal with people. That's one of the ways you learn to deal with business. But I sure wouldn't want to be doing it now.
Yeah. No, it does take a toll. I remember in the early days before I had my actual trailer, because you never know when you go to a market. I mean, you'll get communicated ahead of time, and they may, hopefully they do, send you like a PDF with a layout of the market and where your booth space is. That gives you a rough idea, but until you actually lay eyes on this place, you get there, and who knows where you have to park, right? And so where do I have to park? Or is it feasible for me to at least get my vehicle close to my booth, unload, go park, come back, then schlep all my stuff to this location, set up my tent, open up all my bins, put out the decor, and then you pack it all up at the end of the day, get it in the back of the vehicle, take it home and unload it. And it's just...
And that's just for local markets.
Yeah.
Think about the people who actually do that for a living, and they'll go to markets in Maryland, in North Carolina, in Georgia, all over South Carolina. I mean, they travel. That's how they make their living.
That's hard. I
It
don't know how
is
they
hard.
make a living.
You got to really, really be dedicated and enjoy what you do.
Yeah, well, and I'll say this too, like, not all markets are created equal.
Yeah.
I think part of learning what the market atmosphere is like is, number one, you just have to do it.
Yeah.
You have to do it, and you figure out you can't just do one. You have to do a multitude of them, and eventually you'll figure out which ones are worth doing and which ones are not.
Yeah.
But then you also have to deal with, like you said, your booth fee, and what do they expect? I've done markets where people are, you cannot close down or leave until the end. And I'm a nice guy, but my opinion on that, and I've left early and wasn't supposed to. My opinion is, I paid for this space.
Yeah.
If I'm paying you and you haven't brought in people,
yeah,
I'm leaving.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I paid.
It's always that threat. Oh, if you leave early, you can never come back. Well, I'm leaving early because this is not
Why would I want to come back?
Yeah, this is not, this is not my place.
Like, if you had paid me to be there, well, then I'd be there, even if it was terrible.
Yeah.
But
the vendor's the one.
Come on.
Yeah.
And so you learn all that stuff by doing. And here's the other thing I have noticed about people that run markets. Some of them good, some of them great, but please do the best you can to only have one vendor per category.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's a big complaint of many vendors, and I don't blame them. You're paying for that booth fee, but I think you're also paying for a little bit of exclusivity. I wouldn't like it if there were, 5 dozen jewelry vendors.
I see it all the time.
Yeah.
There's 30 booths and 4 of them are selling homemade jewelry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's just not fair to these vendors.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'm at the level now with the cigar box where I really don't do that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
But that's because I've done it.
Yeah.
I've done it. I've done the work. I've grown the business. And now I get to be a little bit more selective with
Yes.
what I do.
Exactly. And same here. I could still do the market, I could still go that route, but I know me and I don't want to do that. And maybe the path that I have chosen is a little more difficult to grow, but it's more me and it makes me happier. So the path may be longer, maybe a little slower, but that's okay with
Yeah,
me.
but you get to be in control of your life
Yeah. Yeah.
instead of being beholden to, I've got to do this market and like a morning market, an evening market. I got to get up tomorrow and do it all again and load this crap and unload it. And it's just, because whenever I was originally doing it, I had a 10 by 10 pop-up tent. I had, of course, my chair. I had an 8-foot folding table. I think I had, thankfully my setup was simple enough. I could get away with two of the large plastic bins. One was full of
Oh,
cigars.
yeah.
One was full of all of the accoutrements for the table. And it looked really nice. But it gets to be a pain. And like you said, I mean, I've been in those markets where it's just a windy day and it's blowing cigars off the table and you're constantly picking up. And
It's
eventually you're like, I'm sick of doing this.
exactly.
But, and I've said this plenty of times on the podcast, so listeners bear with me because you never know who's going to listen, right? The markets are not like you do the markets sometimes because you run into people that own studios.
Yeah. Well, that's a huge part of doing a market is having contact with people, all kinds of people. You just never know who you're going to connect with. Um and that's exciting. It's another thing that kind of kept me going there in the beginning and kept me doing the markets because I would meet the coolest people and I would get commission orders and I would be put in touch with other people and that was fun. That was exciting.
Yeah. Well, that's really, you're just going to meet somebody that helps you go from A to B in the next time, maybe from B to C. But you never, but that's the mystery of the market because you're going to do 13 markets before you meet that person.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
That's right.
So let me tell you a story. I had this idea in my head for this. I mean, the podcast was already going, but I knew I'd wanted to go to video. And I had mapped out, excuse me. I'd kind of mapped out the things that I needed to make that happen. One of which obviously is a camera. And cameras are not cheap. They're just not. Not if you want to have quality video, you know what I mean? So anyway, I met a guy named Jake Henderson who owns like a workout club. It's called Carolina Barbell. And he does his Carolina Barbell group out of Brits Brothers Gym. And Jake was doing a fundraiser for the local Shriners Children's Hospital. And so and Jake's been on a guest on my show twice. Jake invites me to bring the cigar box out to the big fundraiser event that they're doing. And it's all like a powerlifting event. Guys are doing big weights, doing this. People are there watching. There's food, people are barbecuing, and they're raising money, and it's a good time. Well, I'm out there with the cigar box, and I go out there, number one, because it's a good cause. right? Let's raise money for children's hospitals. It's a good thing to do. Do I really expect to make any money? Not really. But Jake's a friend. Yeah, I'm going to support you. This is great. So while I'm out there, I meet this young guy whose name's Josiah. Josiah happens to be part of Jake's Barbell Club. Josiah is also a photographer, and he dabbles in a few other businesses. And so he buys some cigars for me. We just sit and talk, and he doesn't tell me any of this stuff. We're just two guys talking, having a cigar. Eventually, I wind up having Josiah as a guest on my show. This is back before I went to video, strictly audio only. And I showed him the same concept pictures that I showed to you. I'm like, this is what I want to do, and I'm planning on doing it, da-da-da-da-da-da. So, God bless him. I don't know, Josiah, he gave me that camera and that lens.
Wow.
Because he likes the show, believes in what I'm doing. And that, because I did this event, I met this guy who gave me that enables this. Like, I could still have this room, but without video, this room it'd be a cool place in my house to smoke cigars.
Sure.
But
yeah.
And that's the power of just doing things, even if you think it doesn't really make much sense for you to do them.
Right. And I think part of that is attitude a little bit. Like, I'm going to make the best of this event. Whatever happens, happens, and you go into it with a positive attitude, and it kind of opens you up for things like that to happen, for those connections to be made.
Yeah. So in all of your doings, have most of your connections come after your studio, or did you meet other people that helped you go to the next place doing markets?
No, I don't think the markets were a big propelling factor for me. I just kind of did it on my own, I think. The one thing that happened fairly recently that's helped me a bunch in that regard, and I met someone similar to your story, is I'm in a ring making group on Facebook, and there's a guy in there who owned his own ring business, built it up, went through all the hard times, all the trials and errors, built his business up to the point where he sold it for like 7 figures to, to a very prominent ring making company. And then Tyler, his name is Tyler. Hey, Tyler, got a shout out to my guy, Tyler. He's helped me so much.
Shout out, Tyler.
Shout out to Tyler. He then started a consulting business, marketing business, because by then he had made so many rings. He was like, I don't want to make another ring in my entire life, really. And plus, he makes watches too. He's into watches, and he's invented some things, and so he wanted to do something else. So he knows how to build a jewelry business, particularly a ring business. And that's what he specializes in now, is helping a few people at a time to grow their business. So I met him through that group, and he's been a lifesaver for me. He knows all about building a website, which I had, but I didn't know, how to market it. And he knows all this stuff, and he's just bing, 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 here's what we need to do, and I'll do this, that, and the other, and we just do it. And talking about cameras, he's the one who taught me about cameras and how important it is to take awesome pictures, really good pictures of your product. And you think video cameras are expensive, still cameras are expensive too.
Yeah.
Ridiculously expensive. And so he told me kind of what to look for. And I got a used camera, it was a really good camera. And then I had to learn how to use it. And when I look at the photographs now that I take,
They're fantastic, by the way.
oh, thank you. Yay.
Yeah, I've visited your I've been on your website, I've been on your social media.
Yeah, thank you.
The
Yay.
stuff like and we'll get to the rings in a second, or we can just go ahead and get
It
there
doesn't
because
matter.
we're there, but like you're making some really lovely stuff.
Thank you.
It's I don't know, it's stunning.
Well, that's the easy part. The hard part is finding the audience. And it's happening, but I can't in my business just rely solely on social media. That'll only take you so far. You got to go beyond that, and that's what Tyler's doing for me. But yeah, and he's
Obviously social media, like, but beyond that, where? I mean, obviously you got to get to the people. That's what we're after, but like certain people.
The way I look at it, social media is kind of like a screening process, and I'm narrowing down my audience. My customers initially are going to come from social media. And then there's a point where that mushrooms with my marketing because I'm doing email campaigns. I'm doing different things to reach people. And then it starts to snowball and to grow beyond just my social media audience. It's remember that old shampoo commercial or something? She tells one person and she tells one person, she tells a friend, and it kind of grows like that. So I'm in that growth phase, but it's exciting to see it happen. The most precious sound to me is when I hear my phone go cha-ching, and that's a Shopify sale. I'm like, yes, my website. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
by the way, we'll say it again at the we'll say it again at the end of the show, but what's the website for Nancy Davis Studios?
NancyDavisStudio.com.
Easy peasy. Is the Instagram handle the same?
Same.
Nancy Davis Studio and NancyDavisStudio.com.
Yeah. And YouTube.
And YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. You want to have, I presume here, I don't know, but I presume when you're making a ring, you want to make multiples of them so that, when people are ordering on Shopify, you have in stock. Or are you just making a bunch of, like, I have one or two of these for sale and that's it? Or how's it working?
I make a ring. And if it works, if I like it, if it has appeal, like I throw it out there on social media, if it has appeal, then it goes into my my offerings. I don't make a bunch because the thing about rings is they have to be made to order because I don't keep a whole bunch of ring size blanks in stock.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who's going to want what.
This isn't Zales.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not Zales. Yeah, exactly. So I will make one and I'll usually film the process and then make it into like a 1 minute short and, see, I'll put it out there and see how it goes. And if people like it, I'm like, okay, I'll offer this. So I put it on my website, I'll take good pictures of it, the description, the whole thing. And then they can order in their size. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
And when I do that, I always make it in my size so that I can wear it around,
Yeah, so everything you got on today you have made?
Not everything. I made this one and I made this one when I was doing some wired silver jewelry. But yeah.
Your necklace?
No, an artist friend made this for me.
Okay.
That's another fun thing about being an artist and getting to know other artists in your niche or in your medium. So yeah, I had a friend make
But
that for
earrings.
me. No, and I knew I was going to catch heck for that because I make a lot of earrings, and I just didn't wear my own earrings today.
So you make rings, earrings,
Rings, earrings, bracelets.
necklaces.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I don't know that this would be advantageous to you. It's just a thought I had. Have you considered trying to make relationships with like wedding planners and doing custom rings for the groom?
I have considered that, and people have suggested that to me.
It was just a random thought.
It just seems daunting to me because it seems stressful to me. Dealing with wedding planners and brides and their mothers, and I'm trying to cage my words carefully here, but there's a lot of pressure there. People want what they want, and if it's not exactly what they want, they're going to lose their minds in the wedding industry. Now, I have a ring right now that I make that would be a gorgeous alternative wedding ring for either men or women. But I just have not taken that step to market to that, to target that market yet.
I mean, you should just test run it just with one person. You know what I mean? If it works out, obviously.
Yes. Then that's true. A step at a time.
Yeah, don't blast it out to 10, wedding planners that, hey, I do custom rings. And I don't know that you want to go as far as making like, the ring for the bride, but just considering what you do, it might just be, I do rings for grooms.
Yeah. Well, yes, I certainly could do that. And here's the other thing. Now, there are a lot of brides and grooms choosing alternative wedding bands. Maybe they want my rose gold titanium and white opal ring, or
that go on Nancy Davis Studios social media, look up that ring, with the crushed opal.
It's called Radiant Ice. It's beautiful.
It is phenomenal.
I almost wore it today, but the rose gold didn't go with what I was wearing. So
you should just change your whole outfit to go with the ring.
I've done that.
I'm sure you have.
But that's the fun thing about the rings that I'm making is it could be a sterling silver or a titanium band, and they want crushed turquoise in it. And that's what they want their wedding bands to be. And I've done that, and it's so fun. And every time I see those people, they're like, my husband hasn't taken off his ring, and he loves his ring. He loves that ring that you made for him.
How do you do that? How do you put, how do you crush opal or turquoise or whatever? I mean, you can lay it out for me here if you want to. I presume you're crushing this stuff and it goes into an epoxy resin.
Some of it I crush myself. Some of it I buy crushed.
Okay.
The opal that I use is called Bellow Opal. That's a brand, and it's a synthetic opal, but you wouldn't be able to tell it's synthetic. And it comes to me crushed. There are some stones that I buy and crush myself, which is a whole other thing. But so I literally have a mortar and pestle, and when I'm crushing my own stones, that's what I use. And so you crush, and then I have a series of filters that stack on top of one another, and I pour that crushed stone onto there, and it filters them down, the biggest on top, and then,
Yeah.
goes down to dust. And all that is needed in a ring.
Yeah, because I'm just wondering, like, how do you get this to stay in a circle and stay on the ring without falling off? But so there's a mold, more kind of, sort of.
No.
How does it?
So I wish I'd brought a band now, but so I take the band, which is an empty channel band. It's just a band. It's got shoulders on it, and the inside, there's nothing on the inside. So, and there are different ways to do it. I by no means am saying this is the only way to do it, and it also depends on what material you're working with. But so I'll take like a brush, a paintbrush, and put some CA glue on there. Don't ask me what CA stands for. Cyan. Blah,
California glue.
Yeah. California glue. But it's a jeweler's grade adhesive, and I'll put a little bit in there, and then I'll put the crushed stone in there, a little bit at a time. Now, some people just take it and pour it in there, and then they grind it all off. I'm a little more conservative than that. I literally place the pieces. If you look at one of my videos, that part on my video, I've condensed to maybe 15 seconds, but it may take up to half an hour. And so I place them in there, and I place a little dot of glue to hold them. And you just keep going around the band like that and filling it with whatever you're going to fill it with. And when I like the looks of it, then I set it with more glue. And then that's a whole process because it's very thin. You put 1 drop of glue while the ring is slowly turning, and you hit it with some accelerator, which dries the glue, sets the glue. And I may do that 20, 25 times to get a nice, deep, protective shine and protective, coating on that ring.
Yeah.
And then I'll take a blade on my lathe and start removing the excess material. Then I go to sandpaper, start at a certain grit of sandpaper and go up to 7,000 grit, and then zona paper, and then a diamond polishing paste. So there's a lot that goes into it, but man, I love it.
Sure. Are you, do you order ring blanks? So you're not actually taking a flat piece of metal and bending and
Correct.
creating. Okay.
I'm not yet. But
is it your goal to get there?
Maybe, yeah. Because when I see some of the work that some of my colleagues are doing in my ring group, that's what some of it. Now, not, I'd say about 10% of people do that. They're milling their own blanks. Man, they're just phenomenal. So I'm a little bit limited, but not really.
I would not. Just visiting your website or your social media page and looking at the stuff that you create, I would never have the thought that you're limited.
Well, and that goes back to the artist in me, the creator in me, always wants to do something that nobody else is doing. So there are a lot of people making crushed opal inlay rings, but I always want to put my spin on it. So back to my alcohol ink paintings, I have some left over, and I have learned how to cut them into strips and put them in a ring. Now, nobody's doing that, and that's a ring that nobody is going to have, a little strip of a painting in a ring. So that's one of my collections.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And that was one of my questions when it comes to, and people, you're not the only jewelry maker in town.
Exactly.
I'm not the only mobile cigar service in town. I'm obviously not the only podcast in the world. There's millions of them. But how do you make yourself stand out in a crowded field? I mean, that seems to be the...
I don't try. I don't try that hard. It's like, what do I think would look good? What do I think would look pretty? And a little bit is anybody else doing this? Because I don't want to reinvent the wheel. And if there are 100 other jewelry makers out there doing the same thing, I don't want to do that. And a lot of it is looking around to see what I have. What interesting materials do I have? Will this clear stone crush well and catch the light and look good in a ring? I don't know. Let's try it. Can I put pinstriping in a ring? I don't know. Let's try it. Hey, I have offcuts from my copper earring making. What if I put those in a ring with some crushed opal? Awesome. Just experimentation.
Yeah. I was going to ask you where you take your inspirations from, but it sounds like it's more, let me look through this pile of junk I have and see what I
Nailed it.
come up with.
Yeah, nailed it. Yeah.
Have you gone, do you now consider yourself an artist?
Reluctantly, yes. Yeah. I guess I don't know. I've never looked up the definition of an
Textbook
art.
definition of an
Yeah.
artist.
So I guess I am.
Yeah,
Well,
I kind of feel that way about myself when it comes, like, I obviously host a podcast. I, I would not consider myself a content creator, even though,
that's exactly what you're doing.
right. I put out shorts and I publish video podcasts. I don't consider myself I'm just a guy sitting down talking with people.
But see, that's the beauty of it because you're just doing you. You're just being
Right.
you. You're not trying to be something that you're not. This came naturally for you, and you invite people into your studio just like we were just sitting having coffee and just talking, and we were like, okay, we got to stop this conversation because we
Yeah.
got to save something for the podcast.
Right.
You're very good at what you are doing
Well, that's
right
very kind
now.
of you to say.
Making people comfortable, and you're interested in people, obviously, and that's what it takes for a good host. It's awesome.
It's a lot of fun, and I find I don't know, you just got to find your zone, whoever you are out there, find your lane, and it just, the work itself, what you're doing might, I don't know, it might be hard, but it just, there gets to be a point where you find you're enjoying what you're doing. It just doesn't feel difficult.
Exactly.
I mean, this is not hard for me. This is very,
Yeah.
let's just talk.
Yeah.
And I have things that I really want to try and pull out of the conversation,
Mhm.
but I'm not, like you said, the biggest thing for me is I'm not trying to be something I'm not.
Yeah.
And I'm not, when Nancy Davis comes and sits in this chair with me, I just want you just to be you.
Mhm.
That's all I want,
Yeah.
Let's put who Nancy Davis is
Yeah.
on a camera. And a lot of times I tell people, forget there's a camera, honestly. We're just two people having a chat.
Yeah.
And I don't try and manufacture moments. I'm not trying to create something that goes viral, as we say these days. I don't, if your show gets 20 listens, that's cool. If it gets 500,000, that would be great. If it doesn't get that, do I care? Not really, because this is just fun.
Yeah.
And if I'm not having fun,
How lucky are we to do something like this? I've always, not always, for many years, I've worked for myself rather than working for someone else. And it has its pros and its cons, working for oneself. But I don't like to be told what to do. I'm a bit of a rebel. Okay, I'm a rebel. I don't like to be told what to do. So working for someone else was not fun for me. And so I just feel very lucky and blessed that for the last almost 30 years, I've been self-employed, and it hasn't always been easy.
yeah,
But I wouldn't have it any other way.
sure.
Yeah.
There's something very, very nice to be your own boss. I remember asking a guy one time who was self-employed. I asked him what was the best thing about working for yourself. And he said the best thing about working for myself is I don't have some guy breathing down my neck saying you got to be at the office at 9 o'clock and you have to do da, 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 and you get off at this time. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's great. And I said, well, what's the worst thing about being your own boss? He said, the worst thing about it is I don't have some guy breathing down my neck saying you have to be here at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, because when you're self-employed, you don't really have an off switch. You've got to make yourself have an off switch.
Well, you do, and if you're not disciplined enough, deadlines, you can miss them, and you can find yourself in too much free time. The problem that I'm finding I'm having between Sunday afternoon smokes and the cigar box and just taking care of my wife is that I haven't been getting enough sleep lately. So I record my shows during the day. Usually I prefer doing the earlier parts of the week, Mondays and Tuesdays. And then I'm taking her to therapies, taking her to support groups. I'm making all the meals. I'm doing the laundry. I'm cleaning the house. I'm taking care of the dog. I'm seeing my kids. I'm handling the bills and just everything I have to do. And then she goes to bed at 9:30. She fatigues pretty easily. And so from 9:30 on, I can
That's your time.
that's my time.
Yeah.
But I wind up diving into my business.
Yes.
And I'm on the computer and I'm utilizing ChatGPT to help me with a lot of stuff. And before I know it, it's like 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I got to stop this. Like, part of me is I need to stop. If I want to work, okay, work from 9:30 to 11 and then go to bed, or don't work at all. Just watch some TV, play some video games, like have some, I'm just kind of overloaded, and I'm stacking episodes right now. Like I did 2 episodes yesterday. I did you today because I plan to take about a month off from podcasting at the end of May and through June, just because I need to check out.
Yeah.
But that's part of being your own boss. Sometimes you don't get to punch a clock at 5 and say, I'm going home.
That's right. That's right.
You don't get to.
You've got to regulate yourself like that. And I don't sleep. I sleep, but if I'm just lying there trying to go to sleep and there's nothing else going on, I can't. So do you know how I fall asleep? Listening to a podcast. A particular podcast. It's a comedian that I like him a lot. I won't say it because I don't want people to use him as a sleep machine. But
your podcast is so great it puts me to sleep every night.
Well, I do watch him. I do watch his some of his YouTube shows too. So I
yeah.
But if I don't have something in my ear, and it can't be music, because if it's music, I'm just gonna be grooving when I'm trying to sleep. But if there's just a voice that's just
a little white noise back there,
then I can go right to sleep.
I sleep every night, and I have done this for I don't know, probably over a decade. I just put on my little connected home device. I just tell it to play a thunderstorm.
Oh yeah,
every single night. And that's what I do. There's no better sound to go to sleep to than the sound of thunder and rain.
Yeah.
Although, what's funny is one night years and years ago, and I can't unhear it now, but one night I'm laying there and I'm listening to the sound of the rain, and you know how the rain does the patter, the splat and all that. And I'm like, that sounds like frying bacon. It's exactly what it sounds like. I bet they made that sound frying bacon,
You're like, darn, now I'm hungry.
Yeah, I know. But I'm a guy. I'm a Second Amendment guy. I've got firearms. I sleep with a pistol on my nightstand just in case. But I did have the thought one night. I'm like, okay, the ceiling fan's going, my tower fan's going, because I like a lot of air movement when I sleep. The thunderstorm sound is going. The room, the door to my room is closed. If somebody broke in my house, I wouldn't hear it. They're gonna kill me in my sleep anyway, because I can't hear anything. But yeah.
Oh.
So how does Nancy Davis go from I make bottle lights to alcohol paintings to now I make this like fabulous jewelry? That seems such a leap.
Well,
From
you know what I'm going to say is I don't know. How did I? See, I knew this question was going to come up, and I have thought about this, and I don't know. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but every time I change mediums or do something different, I don't really, I can't pinpoint how it came about. All I know is I love jewelry, and I decided I wanted to, make something else, see what I could make with my hands. So I started watching videos of some really talented people making rings, making earrings. And I said, well, okay, well, try that. And so, several $100s later, I have a bunch of beads and stones and wire and rings and stuff, and I'm making stuff.
yeah, I interviewed a guy named Daniel Cowan who and he's out in the Seneca area and he makes very high end like pocket knives.
Ah.
And his story just sounded kind of like yours. He's like, I was just kind of interested in knives and thought, I think I'd like to just give this a try. And he said, it's like, I started watching just YouTube videos on how people do this and I started playing around and now he's making some serious pieces.
That's awesome. That's a thing, man. People love their knives.
Yeah. So you sound very similar. It's like, I like jewelry and and you just kind of start watching videos on how to do it. And then you try to start.
Yeah, then
doing
I
it.
put my own spin on it. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I need to learn the basics, how to work with the material, the tools to use, and then I just kind of put my blinders on and do what I want to do.
Do you think what you're doing now is more satisfying to you than the bottle lights, the alcohol, ink?
Definitely. And one of the reasons is because I like to make art that has more than one function, that doesn't just sit there or doesn't just hang on the wall. I like wearable art, usable art. I make purses too, but usable, wearable, functional artwork.
Well, it just sounds like a progression then to me of I'm doing this and it's fun, but I'm going to try this and it's fun. And I'm going to try it. Like it seems to be, I figured this out and I do it, but I think I can do something more and better. And you've landed here now with a lady like you and the way your brain works, who knows if this is where you stay. Like I'm in jewelry and I'm happy here and I don't think I'll progress beyond this. I don't know, like do you feel like this is kind of the zone and where I'm just going to be?
I think so. I love making the rings. I love making the earrings too, and people like my earrings. But here's the thing. My hands won't take all that twisting and stuff anymore. I woke up one day and my thumb, instead of being straight, kind of looked more like an L and it hurt.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I might have overdone it. So I have to be smart about it. And if I'm going to do the earrings and all the cutting and twisting and hammering and squeezing, everything that goes into that, I just won't be able to do as much of it. And that's probably okay because my ring business is taking off and I really, really enjoy making the rings and it's not as hard on my hands. So yeah, I think I have found where I'm going to be for a while, and that's jewelry and ring making.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how do I want to ask this? Do you have kind of a We've talked about the one with the what is it, the rose gold and the crushed opal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is that the piece you're most proud of at the moment?
It is.
Okay. Do you have kind of like a white whale ring that you're chasing? Like there's that makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a project like that in mind?
Yeah,
Is you
I do. I do. And it involves a very pretty exotic wood in combination with some crushed opal and probably a rose gold band. And that combination is it's going to take some practice.
Have you tried it?
I haven't tried
You
it
haven't
yet.
attempted it yet?
I have the materials. I just haven't done it yet because other things keep popping into my head, and I haven't done it yet. But I will.
How do you view a project like that? Is it a like just from the emotional side of it, is this like a dragon for me to slay kind of a thing, or or are you intimidated by this
I'm not
project?
intimidated by it. It is a dragon for me to slay. And I have great resources to help me with it. If I need help, I know who I can go to say, what am I doing wrong? Or what do I need to look for here? What do I need to avoid? How do I do that kind of thing? I have great resources. So I know that I can do it. Can I do it on the first try? Probably not. Can I do it consistently? Yeah. If I keep at it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I'm chasing right now. I don't right now have any ambitions to work with diamonds and setting stones and things like that. Uh, it's a different kind of benchmark that I'm after.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You mentioned that you for 30 years, I think you said you were self-employed.
Mhm.
And I think you shared with me that was what, medical transcription?
Yes. Hmm.
So you were doing medical transcription and then art as just a personal hobby
Yep.
at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Um, so at what point in your life does the medical transcription start to take a back seat to the studio?
Well, my medical transcription has always taken a front seat until it ended rather unexpectedly. And I won't go into all the changes in the medical industry that essentially put me out of business, but that's essentially what happened. My profession as a medical transcriptionist kind of became extinct. I wasn't needed anymore because of voice recognition
Uh,
and electronic medical records and all that. So the writing has been on the wall for many years, but I was fortunate enough to be one of the last of the dinosaurs, one of the last medical transcriptionists, and then eventually just it just went away. It was going to anyway.
yeah. So it really wasn't a choice you had to make.
Right.
It just was the nature of
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the increase of technology and
Yeah.
time.
And so that happened, and that happened like a year ago, basically. And if it's been hard for me to adjust,
Really?
it's getting easier, but
How come?
because that's what I did, that's what I loved, that's what I made a really good living at, and it was gone just like that. And I wasn't sure what my identity was then, or how I was going to generate income. I mean, I'm married, and so, my husband generates income, which is great, but I have always made my own money. I've always generated income. And I wasn't ready to turn artwork and jewelry making into uh, a business like that. I always said that that would be too hard and that I wouldn't enjoy the process. I wouldn't enjoy it, if it had to be a business. So it's been a balance between, gosh, I know I can do this and I am doing this and people like this and people are buying my stuff and yay, my business is growing. I have to balance that with having time to myself and with coming to grips with I don't have to get up and go to work anymore. I mean, I always work from my house anyway, but
Yeah, but you still got to get up and go.
so yeah, exactly. And I'm too young to retire, and like where am I? Where am I?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm landing now. I'm coming down. I'm becoming more comfortable with hey, just relax, do what you love. Your business is growing. You're doing great. Just have fun with it.
Mm-hmm. Have you kind of figured out who you are? I mean, because you said
Hmm.
like
Yeah,
you struggled with the identity after that was gone.
yeah, yeah. I'm a jewelry maker. I definitely am a jewelry maker. Artist, yeah, I guess so. I'm an artist, but I'm a jewelry maker. I'm a homemaker. I'm a cat mom. I'm a wife. I'm a homebody, which I didn't used to be. I used to have that social interaction, and now I'm like, I like to stay home and do my projects and be able to, walk 12 feet to my studio and say, hey, I'm going to make something.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So where's the studio now? I mean, I know you have your shed in the backyard where you still do a lot of your mad scientist stuff,
Hmm.
but there's another location, right?
No,
No? Okay.
that is my studio. You
Okay.
may be thinking of another art gallery that I was part of, maybe. But
Well, no, I thought, but maybe I just misunderstood or misheard in our conversation. You built this shed, but I thought you said there was somewhere else you were doing things. Maybe I was confused.
no, and I may have misspoke. No, that's the only place I'm doing things.
Okay,
I have had to move some things back into the house because I've outgrown that.
you need a bigger shed.
I know.
You
Yeah.
just got to talk to Art, see if
Yeah,
what
that's
Art has to say.
yeah, I know.
And I know you said your husband's very
Mhm.
supportive, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Is Art surprised at your?
Chris, it's hard to tell. It's hard to read him. I'll make something, I'll bring it in, I'll say, "Ah, look what I made. Look what I made tonight." And he's like, Yeah, okay, that's nice." But I tell you, his thing is he loves the ashtrays and stuff
Oh
that I
yeah.
make because I started making them for Citadel alumni. He's a Citadel alumni. And so I started making them for those guys, and it really took off. And then I got licensed to use more of the Citadel's trademarks, and so I use that on a lot of stuff. So the stuff I make for the alumni, he's all about it, and he's like, "You should contact this person. You should contact this person. You should go here. You should go there." Like, okay, honey. Why don't you be my manager and do that for me?
Right. Yeah. So, what do you think the future of Nancy Davis Studios looks like?
I think it looks like um, I have an income goal in mind, and once I reach that, that's going to be my sweet spot. That's going to be my happy place at this point in my life. I don't want to go beyond that because then that would require me hiring people, and I don't want to do that because then it becomes
It's just
not my own.
it gets complicated.
It gets complicated.
Yeah. Do you, as an artist doing jewelry, are there's got to be certain, I mean, because there's lanes for everybody. You know what I mean? Like a boutique cigar company, if they can get a feature in Cigar Aficionado magazine, or so are there goals of yours to have, like, if I can get featured here or here or?
Well, the feature part of that would be to actually have my physical rings in a store.
Mm.
And I haven't quite figured out how to do that yet because, like I say, I can't just walk in with, 6 different sizes of a certain ring because that's just not, it's not efficient to do it that way. So it has to be the right place, a place where people go in and they see an assemblage of my work and say, I want that in this size, but can you change the color to, red instead of purple or something like that? So yeah, that's a goal, definitely. That would be awesome.
I think I have one other question. Do you take like people commission you for a special job, like a ring, or do you just make what you make?
I make what I make, but there are that people come to me and say, "Hey, can you do such and such?" And they'll describe it to me. And if I can do it, yeah, I'm happy to do it. So yeah, I'm happy to take commissions and sit down with them and ask them about their lifestyle. What do you want the ring for? How do you wear your jewelry? Okay, here's what I recommend. Either sterling silver, or you need titanium, or stainless steel is fine. Whatever, and create a ring with them. And I love doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get that a lot?
I do get that a lot.
Really? Nice.
Yes, but you know what I get even more than that is memorial rings are a big thing now, and I've had people approach me and ask if I would make a memorial ring with the ashes of a loved one or something, and I'm not comfortable with that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
A lot of people do, and I have a person that I refer those clients to. That's just not me. That's a little too heavy. That's a little too much responsibility. A little much too much weight.
That's a very special thing.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of pressure there.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't feel right. But there are jewelry makers who that is their niche, and they do that a lot, and they're comfortable with it, and they do beautiful work. Absolutely beautiful, wonderful, amazing memorial pieces. So I'll send that on to them.
Right. Well, look, I think I hit most of what I had. Is there anything we missed that you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's funny that I come in here not comfortable talking about myself and talk about myself for an hour and a half or however long we've been here. But I mean, that's all due to you. You're a good host.
Sit down and explore people and what they do and who they are, and I've had a fantastic time doing it. Yeah. Also, again, thank you so much. This ashtray works beautifully. Awesome. I look forward to having these in the lounge. And yeah, look. So if you're a cigar smoker and you want some custom ashtrays for the house, Nancy Davis.
I'll leave you some business cards and these other 2 ashtrays, and people can look at my website and contact me and tell me what they want. And,
And that was nancydavisstudio.com.
nancydavisstudio.com.
And Instagram's Nancy Davis Studio.
Yep.
So y'all get on her website, reach out to her. Is it the best way to contact you through the website or DM on Instagram?
Either way. Email, which is on my website. You can send a message through the website. DM my Instagram, whatever.
Yeah, sweet. So y'all give her a follow, check out her stuff, and of course, you heard her say she does take commissions. So guys, if you're looking for something special for the missus or the future missus, or just for whatever, hit her up. I mean, you're gonna just get the crushed opal with the rose gold.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not gonna be disappointed.
Exactly.
Oh, and yeah, one other thing you did tell me in the when we met for coffee. You do not filter your photos, right?
I don't do AI enhanced
Right.
photos.
Okay.
Now, what I may do is change the background,
Sure.
but what you see is what you get, and I am adamant about that because
Right.
I don't want to set up false expectations.
Right. We're not, I mean, yeah, obviously you want to create an environment to take a photo of this ring so that it presents its best self.
Yeah.
But when you show up and you see the real product, it's going to match
Absolutely
what you saw online.
Yep.
So we're not embellishing
Absolutely.
this thing.
I couldn't sleep at night if I didn't do it that way.
That's great.
Yeah.
So Nancy, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Chris. It
Yeah.
has been. It's been fun. Thank you so much for having me. I'm
You're
honored.
welcome. I'm very pleased to have you here.
Awesome.
So, well, thanks for watching and or listening to Sunday Afternoon Smokes. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it on your socials, and share it with the world, because Sunday Afternoon Smokes is really sweet. We'll see you soon.